Shrouded by time and legend, it's hard to pin down exactly when chocolate was born. But we do know that both the Mayans and Aztecs used cacao in their sacred rituals, believing it to be the food of the gods. What does any of this have to do with Hawaii? Well, happily for America's ever-growing sweet tooth, these incredible islands are the only place in the good old US of A that grow chocolate, or more accurately, cacao. Notoriously temperamental, Theobroma cacao only flourishes in a narrow band 20 degrees north and south of the equator, making Hawaii the frozen north of its growing range. Today, with island sugar production a thing of the past and pineapple growing downsized but still plentiful, diversified agriculture is the new king, and two exotics, coffee and cacao, are Hawaii's most promising cash crops.
I had been involved with cacao for some 20 years on and off, so I knew where the good stuff was, and I knew a good location. So I was involved with putting in about 20 acres back in 1996. We stood back and watched it grow, and then we sort of abandoned it for a while, interestingly enough, and then we came back to it. And the real next step was a serious one, because we actually took beans from the trees and we sent them to a chocolatier. Well, to our surprise, about 3 weeks later, they came back and said we had exceptionally fine chocolate from those beans and were extremely interested. And this was the E. Guittard Chocolate Company, a family-owned company that's been in business over 100 years on the West Coast. And this is what we have now, is an exceptionally fine chocolate that has very dark tones of cherries and blackberries and raspberries, and a hint of light fruitiness too. And for entrepreneurs and chocolatiers out there, they find this to be very exceptional. The reason we are putting so much effort, money, and time into this project is because we have stumbled upon something very special, something very unique, almost like an unpolished diamond at this point. This would be the only true commercial cacao chocolate operation in the United States.
As I've tasted different chocolates from different parts of the world, some of the famous chocolates from Venezuela or Ecuador, Madagascar, the Congo, each has a distinct flavor characteristic of those areas. And the Wailua Estate Hawaiian chocolate, too, has this single origin or single estate taste profile. It does not taste like chocolates from other areas. It truly has a uniquely Hawaiian flavor to it. Cacao tree is a very leafy tree. The leaves are large, anywhere from 9 to 18 inches long. As we look at a tree, it's flowering, the limbs and the trunk will be covered with these very small, delicate orchid-like flowers to them. And each point along that limb where the flowers are growing, potentially that's where you're also going to see the pod developing. Unlike trees from a temperate climate, tropical fruits will come right off of the limbs and even the trunk of the tree itself. The larger pods will continue to grow and will get, in some cases, almost football sized. You can't just pick the pod off of the tree. You want to preserve the point that it's coming out of. So we will go through the tree and clip the pod out. After we fill a lug, which is probably about 1,000 pounds of pods, we'll bring it back over to the mill. We use a machete and skillfully kind of crack the pod open about halfway. And as we remove it, one side will have what is basically a cob of seeds on it. And then we'll remove those seeds, and that will be put into our oak barrels, covered with banana leaf, and then fermented for approximately a week. And the fermentation process is really where the chemistry and the heat begin to bring out the cocoa flavors of the cacao. If you do not have a good fermentation, you're not going to have good chocolate flavors in the resulting product. After it's fermented for a week, we'll put it out onto drying racks and begin a sun drying process, which takes 3 weeks to a month to slowly and evenly dry and turn these cocoa beans now. And at that point, we'll bag it, store it, and then ship it to the chocolate manufacturer, Guittard. They will then begin the process of chocolate making by roasting, grinding, and recipeing the chocolate.
It's pioneering time for chocolate in Hawaii. With too few growers to support the cost of a major production facility, small producers like Hilo's Tom Sharkey are doing chocolate their way, bean to bar.
My name's Tom Sharkey, and I do a little bit of everything. Presently, I'm growing 300 trees here, and I'm making chocolate on a small scale to show people that it can be done and show them the quality of Hawaiian chocolate. And I bought a small roaster, and I took the recommendations on the profile. You bring the beans to a certain temperature, they remain at a certain temperature, and then they cool down. So, and in the middle of the process, you get this beautiful brownie smell. You know that you're right on target. After they roast, I put them through the cracker, the little Krakenstein that breaks the beans up. The next step is winnowing, which means to separate the skins which cover the bean from the actual nibs themselves. And it's important to get the nibs as clean as possible when you make the chocolate, because the skins add a little bit more volatile acidity. So then I take the nibs and I run them through my peanut butter machine, which basically takes the nibs and makes a paste. And then I take the paste and I feed it into my melanger grinder. I measure the sugar, and then I add vanilla extract, and they mix together for like 3 to 4 days. Now you have to temper the chocolate. The tempering basically allows you to sell and ship and control the chocolate after it's been made. I'm not trying to create the world's best chocolate. I'm just trying to make what comes out of the field into a product that people will really enjoy, and then they'll go, wow, this is really good. And I said, yeah, and you ought to plant some trees. That's my major objective. If you think this chocolate's good, then you ought to go out and plant 1,000 trees, because then there will be more chocolate.
Ah, but there's more to this thriving new cacao industry than chocolate. Nestled on the slopes of a volcano called Hualalai, in the town of Holualoa, is Kokoleka Farm.
We principally grow cacao on our farm. However, we don't make chocolate. We create soap that integrates products from our farm, principally cacao winnowings, which is a byproduct of the chocolate process. First off, we use it for colors. It gives it really rich brown color to the soap. It also acts as a wonderful exfoliant, but more importantly, it also has the smell of chocolate. We utilize other things that we grow on the farm. Ground papaya seeds, ground citrus seeds, things of that nature. All the botanicals that grow on our farm, we dry and integrate into many of our soap formulas. So when you're bathing, you're actually bathing in chocolate. And what's more alluring than to be bathing in chocolate?
What indeed? How about one heck of a party celebrating all things chocolate?
I am a confectionery artist, and I create exotic confections out of chocolate. I'm known for the artwork that I produce on my chocolates, and it's done with a process of cocoa butter that has a pigment in it. And one process is a type of silk screen, and the other process is hand painting the molds that we have. Today I made a very rare chocolate, and it's made with Wailua Estate 70% dark chocolate. It is a classical ganache filling, which is an emulsification of chocolate, cream, and a very special ingredient, the pulp of the cacao. So we call it fruit of the cocoa. We thought the only thing fitting was to finish it with a little edible 24-karat gold leaf.
compare cacao in Hawaii with wine in Napa Valley maybe 50 years ago. We already know that we grow world-class chocolate in Hawaii, and that's not my opinion. That's the opinion of chocolate professionals from Valrhona and Vosges and Godiva who tried our chocolate at the New York Fancy Food Show. This looks like an innocent chocolate bar, but I think this could really be a game changer for Hawaiian agriculture and for Hawaiian tourism. In a few years, I think we'll see visitors coming to Hawaii whose main reason is just to go on a tour of a cocoa farm, because you can't do it anywhere else in the U.S.
Kokoleka, Hawaii's 100% domestic brown gold. All the romance of these islands wrapped around some of the best chocolate in the world.
Chocolate's a little bit magic. You know, the other week I watched Willy Wonka, and I ate a bar of my own chocolate. And I said, this is really cool. This is really cool.